What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the quarterback tier list. I've been wanting to do this for a little while now. Finally got the time to do it. We're going to go ahead and also run through some of the other the positions over the next few days or whatnot. But we're starting with quarterbacks, most important position on the football field. If you guys enjoy this type of content, hit that subscribe button. Every subscriber matters to me. Let's get right into it. So starting with Russell Wilson, I would say he's been pretty much just average to start this year. Nothing crazy, nothing below average, just kind of sitting more in that average range that I think we're kind of expecting at this point in his career. It's a lot better than what he was doing last year. He has more touchdowns and bathrooms before like week 10. I mean, it was a crazy long drawn out time period last year. This year he's looked a lot better. Justin Fields, I would say he's also been pretty average. Fields hasn't done anything crazy, but in the couple games he has played, now he's been hurt here recently, he was easily playing at an average level. He had a few good games. He had a few games to start that was bad. We'll see what he does. I think he's supposed to return coming up on week 10 here. So we'll see if he comes back and he plays at that Justin Fields level that he was playing before the injury. If not, he might slip down to average or below average by the end of the season. We're starting three straight. I think Stafford's been average to this point. Nothing crazy. His Rams obviously don't have a great record. He's got great wide receivers. Just at that point of his career, he's getting to the end of it. He's just kind of finishing it out, rolling through the punches. I think he's been pretty average to this point, along with these other guys. Jimmy G's been trash. Leads the league in interceptions with 9. He's one of, I think, 2 other guys who have 9. Not been very good. He's already been replaced as their quarterback by Aiden McConnell, or O'Connell, whatever his name is. He's already been replaced. I don't see Jimmy G even being below average at this point. I think he is straight trash, and that is basically all you're going to get out of Jimmy G. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and throw Daniel Jones in the trash as well. He's just not been very good. I thought he was going to take a step forward this year. I didn't expect him to be like an MVP candidate, but I did expect him to be better than trash. I mean, but he's really just been trash. He's torn his ACL, so his season's over, so he can't really hurt his stock anymore. But if I was the Giants, I would be so mad if I paid him because it's a waste of money right now. It has been a waste of money, but right now it looks even worse like a waste of money. And there's just no coming up from it. It was bad. It's bad and it won't get any better. Gino. I'm going to put him in the star right now. I think Gino's been above average. Nothing too crazy. Star is probably the best. He's not up in that superstar elite tier. He never probably will be. But given what he's done these last 2 years for Seattle, I think you can't say he's not a kind of a star. He had Seattle leading their division. Now, granted, the Ravens absolutely dismantled their offense, but that's something the Ravens seem to do every game this year. So I'm not going to hold that too much against Gino. Gino has been a star this season. Derek Carr, I would say he's been pretty average. Nothing too crazy. If he goes a game without yelling at somebody on his sideline, that is a plus. That goes to show just kind of how bad that team is kind of run right now. I don't think he's been necessarily bad, but I think he's been a dysfunctional after dysfunctional franchise. If the Saints can figure it out, I think they have a roster that can make a bit of a run with how weak the NFC is. And Derek Carr, I think, is a good enough quarterback to be able to take you a little bit further than what I think they're looking at right now. But that also comes down to coaching and all this other stuff. I mean, I don't know if Chris Olave is even able to play right now because he was just recently arrested off of, I think it was it battery or something? Anyway, he was arrested not too long ago. It might have been something like speeding. Yeah. Not great right there, but Derek Carr seems to always be pretty much that average level quarterback. Lamar Jackson is not your average level quarterback. He's easily a superstar. He's having a great season this year. As long as Lamar stays healthy, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. The problem is his health does matter a lot. The last couple of years, it's affected the Ravens. That's why I don't think he's quite in that elite tier. If he didn't get injured so often, I think we would see him more as the elite, up there with some of the other guys that you're going to see getting chucked in the elite. But I think he's definitely the top of superstars. So, like, as I put these other guys, Lamar would be at 1 in the superstar tier. I don't think there's much question. He's easily been one of the best quarterbacks in the league this year and throughout his entire career. I mean, I think he's 18-1 against NFC teams. He's got like the second best winning record since Mahomes. Easily a superstar. Baker Mayfield, I think he's been pretty average to this point. Kind of there with Derek Carr. You know, it's hard to say because like since Brady's last year, even last year, and since really, oh man, what's the coach? Anyway, since Todd Bowles has taken over as head coach, it just hasn't been the same team. Even last year with Brady, this year with Baker. I think that he's playing fine enough. I think they're kind of getting old, and Todd Bowles is not the answer. I think we already kind of knew that. His last head coaching stint didn't work out too much. And with how the NFL is, it's very offensive coordinated, and he's a defensive guy. I think we're going to see less defensive coordinator guys getting head coaching jobs because I think it's just going to start becoming so offensively strong. You can't have a defensive head coach running your team. But Baker's been pretty average to this point. Not even going to talk about this guy. He's bad. Not going to talk to him. He's a trash person, and he's been trash on the NFL. So I would say Brock Purdy would be like the top of average here. I would, like, if I was to like actually put them in like a lineup or something. Oops. Okay, I would put him kind of like this right now. Derek Carr and Baker are pretty close. But Brock Purdy has been pretty good to this point through the season outside of these last 3 games where all of a sudden he looks human. He was probably even kind of in the MVP race. He didn't have any interception. He had like 9 touchdowns. Great stats all around. He's falling apart. He's showing that he's been human, but let's not forget this is his first real full season, and he's playing, and they've lost a couple key people. They played a couple tougher games. I think he'll bounce back. They're coming off bye this week. I wouldn't be shocked if the Niners don't come out here and bounce back and pick up a win. I think Brock Purdy's going to be just fine. I think he's kind of just hit a little rough spot. Everybody does it in their career. I think he's hit his right now. I think he'll bounce back. Gardner Minshew's been below average in his starts this year. I'm always a huge fan of the Minshew mania. I mean, the dude's got the stash and everything, but he's not been anything special this year. I really wish Anthony Richardson didn't get hurt because I really would have loved watching him throughout this entire season. He looked fantastic for the first couple weeks, but unfortunately, Gardner Minshew is going to be a starter, which probably does kind of work for the Colts because I think Richardson would have won him maybe a couple too many games. Maybe Gardner won't, and they'll be a high enough draft pick to maybe bring in some more offensive power. They don't have much wide receiver help. Josh Downs seems to be their best wide receiver, and that's not anything too crazy right now. So Gardner, I would say he's been below average. I'd also say Jordan Love's been below average. I know some people might even throw him in the trash. I don't think he's been that bad. I think Jordan Love's been kind of just below average at this point. I think what people don't forget, this is his first year starting, and this is really not that good of a Packers team. I mean, last year Rodgers is one of the greatest quarterbacks in the NFL history, and they missed the playoffs with him healthy. They only did that when he was hurt. They missed the playoffs with him healthy. I just don't think we can really hold all of this against Jordan Love. I've never been too big into their head coach. I thought he was Matt LaFleur. I think he was very carried by what Rodgers did. I think Rodgers was so good he carried a lot of coaching through and through. So I just don't see Jordan Love being as bad as people say he is. Joe Burrow, he's back up in the superstar. He's not been what Lamar's been to this point in the year, but he's back. He does this every year. It seems like bad 3 games, and all of a sudden it's Joe Burrow, and he's probably going to go on another AFC Championship run knowing him. Unfortunately, hopefully he's playing the Ravens and loses, but Joe Burrow's back. Let's be honest here. There's too much offensive firepower. He's too damn good. He's too damn poised. He's kind of the opposite of what I think Caleb Williams is going to be. Caleb Williams, I think, is going to be a little too emotional, a little too up in his feels. Joe Burrow is not. Joe Burrow is cool, calm, and collected 24/7. He's still a superstar right there with Lamar. And he could even get to that elite tier if he just plays better for the first 3 games of every season, because he hasn't done that since, or ever. But yeah, Desmond Ridder joining these boys in the trash. He's already been replaced. He is no longer the starter. Taylor Heineke is. He's not been very good. Nobody, I don't think, really expected him to be very good. I don't know why Atlanta just thought he was going to be good. I don't know. I was hoping he would, but he does look like a 35-year-old man who's in a 20-some-odd-year-old body, so it was never going to work. Let's be honest here. It just didn't work. I would say Herbert's been a star to this point. He's kind of right there with Geno. His team's not succeeding that much, but it's Justin Herbert. He's pretty damn good, but he's just not succeeding. He's definitely not on the same tier as Lamar and Burrow because their teams are succeeding. They are breathing off of what those two successes, and Herbert has a lot of individual success with very little team success every single year. I just don't think he's quite in that superstar tier. I think he's still kind of just a star. nothing crazy, nothing special. I would say Jared Goff joins them. He's actually probably the best out of those guys. Jared Goff is having a great year this year. He's been great since he's went to the Lions. Dan Campbell has everybody on that team playing better, including Jared Goff. I never thought Goff was as bad as people said he was. I think he was pretty solid. I thought he was a lot more crapped on than he should have been. But being the number 1 overall draft pick, it does make some sense because, it happens. But I think Jared Goff has been a star this year. He's pushing superstar. He's almost up there with Lamar and Burrow, but I can't quite put him there because I think C.J. Stroud is a superstar right now. 14 touchdowns to 1 interception. He's also top 10 in passing yards. The only thing he really isn't great at right now is his completion percentage is low, but he is a rookie. His QBR is pretty high. He's got, I think, the 3rd most average yards per pass. He could be even the MVP this year unless Lamar or somebody just starts playing better, because all these other quarterbacks have a ton of interceptions except for him and Lamar. So I think CJ Stroud might be the rookie of the year and MVP, which would be absolutely crazy. I think he would have to also somehow figure a way to get the Titans to the playoffs. I don't think that's going to quite happen, but he's having an insanely great rookie season. I think he's a superstar. I would say Dak's also in a star. I think he's probably the worst of the 4 that's currently in the star tier. He's been playing decent as of late. He started slow. He was almost in the average tier just because how bad he started. But he's played so well in the last couple of games. I think you had to move him up to that star tier, and that's where he's going to sit. I don't have much else to say. The Cowboys defense has been carrying him. But he has shown flashes here recently of being, what Dak Prescott is. He's a star, nothing better, nothing worse. He's just kind of the star. Mac Jones has been trash. He's been absolutely awful. I think Patriots are going to replace him. I think he's also one of the guys tied with Jimmy G for most interceptions. I mean, what can you do? He's not been good. Tannehill's been below average. I almost put him in the trash, too. He's been replaced by Will Levis, but you know what you're getting out of Tannehill. We knew what he was going to be at the start of the year. It's kind of what Flacco was for a while for the Ravens. Just kind of guy who's there. Nothing special, nothing worse. I think he's been below average right now, personally. I don't think he's quite been the trash level. Jalen Hurts also joins the guys in the star. I would say he's probably behind all these guys, to be honest. He's throwing a lot of picks this year, a lot of fumbles, a lot of turnovers. That's what's keeping him out of that elite tier. I think right now he is easily a superstar in this league, but I don't know if he's played as well as Stroud, Lamar, or Burrow. So I don't think I could put him ahead of him to put him in the elite tier. And I don't think he would even be ahead of these guys in this ranking right now. I think he's just a superstar. I think that's what you get. I think the Eagles are so stacked, he will succeed no matter what. Trevor Lawrence has been a star as well. I'm actually not too big on Trevor Lawrence. I almost put him in average because I don't think he's the reason why they're winning right now. Obviously quarterback's the most important position, but Jacksonville's defense has been elite throughout this season. Kind of like Baltimore, but at least Lamar showed more flashes. But I won't be mean and throw T-Law into average. I think he has been a star to this point. But the next guy is no star. He's the elite of the elite. He might not be the most elite quarterback this year. That might be Stroud right now. It might be Lamar. But Patrick freaking Mahomes is always the best quarterback in the league until something else happens. It's almost like Brady. Brady was always the best, even if he wasn't truly the best. Because guess what? Come playoff time, he was the best quarterback in the league. Patrick Mahomes will be the best quarterback. I think, honestly, Lamar or Stroud or Burrow would be the closest to passing him in the superstar right now. I don't think Hurts is quite there. I think his team might be, but I don't know if Hurts is quite on the Mahomes level. The other 3 guys pushing it a little bit more. I don't think any of them really stand a chance against Mahomes though right now. I would say, yeah, Sam Howell's been pretty average. I would say he's got a lot of yards, takes way too many sacks. He's also playing on a poorly ran Commanders team that should fire Ron Rivera already, to be honest with you. But by the end of the year, Ron Rivera should be gone just because, let's be honest here. He's obviously not doing a great job. I'm not sold on Eric Bennett anyway, as his offensive coordinator, because sometimes their offense just looks super stagnant, and he's putting up good stats. He makes good throws. I think he's been average. He might be able to really become that quarterback there, but I think right now he's average. Zach Wilson, below average. He's pushing trash. If he didn't have that game against Mahomes or some of those other half-decent games throughout the year, he would probably find himself in trash. If he could just string all these games together and start playing like a at least like a Tannehill, he would probably be in average, but he's been pretty below average. He can't string anything together. None of those guys in below average can string much of anything together. He's definitely one of them. I think Kenny Pickett, I almost want to put him in trash as a Ravens fan, but I think he's been pretty below average. I saw something that CJ Stroud already has more touchdowns than Kenny Pickett, so he's been just kind of not great. He's not been great. Pittsburgh might move off of him, but that's not a Pittsburgh thing, so they might stick with him for another 3 years. Who knows? But I don't think he belongs any higher than above average. I think Kirk Cousins was the best guy in star. I think he was pushing superstar. He could have even been the MVP. Apparently his teammates love him. He's having a great statistical season. Unfortunately, he's tore his Achilles. Season over. Let's see what Josh Dobbs can do. I have him actually on this list because he was the Cardinals quarterback for a little while. I think he's been pretty good. You know, he's nothing been crazy, nothing special, but he has been a pretty good quarterback. It's just, can win me primetime. Can he win me primetime games? And right now, I'm not sure if he can. I would say Tua's also been only a star. He's got the statistics to make me believe that he is better than star. But unfortunately for him, they can't beat a winning record team. And to me, I don't really care if you're out here killing the Patriots or the Broncos for that matter. It doesn't matter to me. I want you to go out there and beat one of these top tier teams, particularly not the Ravens. That team you can keep up, but go beat one of the other real teams. But they haven't even been in the fight. They have not been as good when they play a real team. I just can't put him in the superstar if he can't do that. All these other guys here, I think, can beat a real team right now. Every dude above him, I think, can beat a real team right now if they played him. I don't think Tua can. That's just my honesty. Josh Dobbs has been actually, I would say he's been right there with Brock Purdy as one of the best guys in average tier here. He's been pretty damn good. I mean, shockingly, right? I mean, with the Cardinals, he was good. He came in on a Friday and won a game for the Vikings. I think Josh Dobbs deserves his average tier, and I think he's going to get another job opportunity. He could even be a starter at some point. Maybe Minnesota sticks with him. I don't know what their plan is with Kirk Cousins down the stretch. We'll see how he actually continues performing with the Vikings, but man, this dude has shocked the world when he came and did that. We all knew he was playing well with the Cardinals, but dude, what he did with the Vikings is crazy, and I want to see more of it. Honestly, I will say Josh Allen's been average this year. His Bills haven't been very good. Sometimes Josh Allen looks like that elite tier. He's right there with Patrick Mahomes. But other times he looks kind of bad. He looks like he's Jimmy G. I mean, it's just kind of like all over the place. If he could figure it out and put it together and get himself back up there, he'd probably be in the elite tier with Mahomes. But I can't even put him in star or superstar right now because I think he's also tied with the guys in trash with most interceptions in the league, except for he's been a little bit better than those guys as an overall quarterback. It's just been bad for all three of them, and I can't put him above average. That might be the hottest take I have on this list, but he is my average right now. CJ Stroud, or not, Bryce Young has been below average, not a great team. Kind of chucked in this. I think there'll be growing pain. I'm not worried about what he's going to do over the next course of his career. I think Bryce Young's still going to be good either way. But if you guys enjoy this is my list here. We got quite a few guys in every tier. It actually looks pretty evened out. There's a lot of guys in that below average or trash tier. So hopefully some of these teams find new quarterbacks. I know like Daniel Jones and Deshaun Watson is stuck in their contracts, so that would be rough. But if you guys enjoy this, please leave a comment and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.